Hello, welcome once again to my channel where we simplify the practice of quantity surveying. If this is your first time of coming in contact with my video, I will request that you hit the subscription button and also visit my page where you are going to find uh, other material, other materials on a different topic that will improve the body of your knowledge in the pursuit of your career. And if you have been watching my videos and you are yet to hit the subscription button, please do, because this is the only way you can encourage us to continue to do what we are doing. Having said that, if you have been following my videos for over some time now, say three episode or four, realize that I have been discussing on the responsibilities of the quantity surveyors, and by extension the project manager, and because I've been able to touch on scheduling, even though it was just the scheduling was just for the purpose of the lecture, but we all know that uh, after determining the scope of job that you are going to do, you needed to prepare a schedule that will capture every of the activities uh, fitting into the time frame that the client has agreed that the project will span. Uh, we also, after preparing the schedule, uh, we we went for that to prepare a budget. On another video, we prepared a budget, and this same budget we we used the budget and the schedule to prepare to forecast for our expense and also our income. Then we use the income and the expense to prepare our cash flow. Then we went further now to uh, prepare a cost control document from the budget that we prepared, and went further to now explain how this budget works on site, because nobody that is going into a business to actually lose money. You can imagine after you have finished the job, you have satisfied the client in terms of quantity, in terms of quality, in terms of aesthetic views, uh, in terms of every other aspect that, in terms of time of completion, aesthetic view, quality, you have satisfied the client, then you ended up the site at negative. You have lost money. Your client will be happy that you've satisfied him, but the your establishment will not be happy because you have mismanaged the project, which might either lead to you not being given another site to manage or you'll be sacked. So, as wonderful as the other aspect mentioned, quality, time, and all of that, to manage your budget is another important aspect. So, having said that, uh, on this topic, we are going to discuss on how to prepare labor schedule. Labor is another important aspect of a project. Without the workforce, the machines will not operate itself, and In fact, no activities will be going on site because it is the humans that drive the activities on site. And if you don't forecast you don't forecast your anticipated labor strength, you might go into the site and either run short of the staff. You can imagine if you have a project located maybe outskirts a city, or maybe it's located where you have less uh, um, manpower or experienced manpower for the job you are about to carry out there. If you don't prepare your forecast to know what numbers you are looking at, to know if you can get it within that locality, and if you can't get, you begin to either plan for how you're going to employ it from the neighboring state or from the site, your existing site that is about winding down. You want to now transfer the experienced one that will in turn help train the less experienced ones that you're going to get within the region where the job is sited. Definitely you're going to run at you are going to be in problem. So if you plan in this manner and at the same time determine the number of workers that you can get from that locality, if you are to transfer people from one location to another, you're going to pay them outstation. Uh, you're going to pay them outstation. You're going to provide accommodation for them. You're going to pay them visiting allowance to go visit their family. So all of this has to be factored into your pricing so as to enable you price properly. Because if you don't factor it, and eventually you are going to bring 60% of the staffs outside the region where the project is sited, automatically it's going to be a huge amount of money that you take to accomplish that. So having said that, I'll take us quickly run us through the schedule. If you have followed, like I said, you have followed my 3 episode, you realize you can identify with this planning. It was the same planning and the same volume of activities that I had used to prepare. I used to prepare other three. I used to work on the other 3 episodes that I shot. The same quantity is what I used to. The same quantity and the corresponding amount that I used to prepare my forecast, my cash flow. So also the same quantity now I am still going to use to prepare my labor forecast, because it is this works that you want to bring in the workers to come and do. So it is this work that you're going to plan the workers for. So as you can see, for those that are just coming in contact with this one and have not watched the other 3 episodes, I will take my time to give us a background of how I am about using this same planning to now distribute or to break down this quantity. As you can see, for the first item, I have excavation, I had allocated 7 days for the 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 activities to excavate the 250 cubic meter. I allocated 7 days. Minus, I did said that my assumption on this scheduling is that the work is on speed lane. There is no day that is set aside as weekends. All the days are working days. So that is why I am planning both for Saturday and Sundays, because for for a proper scheduling, you are skipping out the days that are holidays and you're only dealing with the working days. So I am taking this as though there is no holiday, all the days are working days. So now I have allocated 7 days for the 250 cubic meter of concrete for excavation. Then, because this 250 now, I now came down here now to break it down into percentage. The percentage I am going to accomplish on day 1, percentage I'm going to accomplish on day 2, percentage I'm going to accomplish for day 3, 4, 5, and 6 to 7. And somebody might want to ask, that why did I start with 10% on day one? Why not 25%? And if you can see the planning, I have setting out an excavation, meaning that I am going to take time the first 6 hours or 7 hours or so in the morning till maybe after lunch to set out the the structure. It is after setting out that I have checked and see that the setting out is correct before I can now deploy people to excavate. And they might not do much. They might not do much. He might not do much on that day one because maybe the setting out ended, say, by 2 p.m. or 3 p.m. You're only having, say, another 2 hours or 3 hours to work. So on day two, I am going to come out full force. I'm going to do it 25%. Someone also might say, why did you not deploy people to do 50% on day one? Managing risk on site is one of another aspect of a project manager, that he has to manage risk so that he does not record any accident, because it goes a long way to dent his record. No project manager will want to have major accident on site, either death or loss of arm, all that. For that goes a long way to dent his image. So he has, let's assume that person has spread the drawing on the floor, has spread the drawings and determined that I cannot put people on all of the trench line, because if I do that, accident might occur, because somebody can be at my front digging and I'm behind him, and the digger head, which is the metallic head, might pull off and cause bodily harm to the next person at my front. So I've spread the people in such a way that they are all working in a safe condition. That is why I'm going to do 25. I'm going to do 25. Then I gradually progress down 20, 10, 7, and 3. So also, because as I am doing this, you can imagine other workers are coming in on day 2. So I'm doing 25 excavation. I'm doing this of blinding. So people are already coming in to do other activities. So I have to make sure that they are spread in such a way that there are accident will not occur, nobody will lose any or have any bodily harm. And I want to just chip in. Uh, uh, when you are asked to prepare a method statement for a certain job, your prepare a method statement is not just to explain how you intend doing the job, it's also to enable the project manager or the anybody, your head, to determine whether there are any risks that will be associated with that job if it is carried out in the manner you have either drawn your prepared your method statement. If there are risks that they have noticed, they will find a way to mitigate it, either if the scaffold is going to fall off, or the weight of the scaffolds you want to use to carry the slab will not be able to carry it. That is when they are going to determine and say, okay, why not show add additional props and all of that. So it is not just for the sake of it you are drawing the method statement. It is also to analyze the risks that might be associated to that same job. So having said that, so I now broke down these activities into these quantities into percentage, then came further here now to now convert these quantities and with the percentage to this split the quantity through this percentage to now give me what I am expected to excavate per day. So 10%, I'm going to do 10% of 250 is 25. So I'm going to do 25% of 250. 25 of 250 is 63. So also on day 2, I'm going to do 63. On day 3, I'm doing 63. Day 4, I'm doing 50. Day 5, I'm doing 25. So if you sum up all, you are going to have 250 cubic meter uh, of earth that you are supposed to excavate. So also that is how I splitted it by now. Multiplying 250 by 10% gives me 25. I did the same thing. That is how I did for all. Then after spreading the quantity according to my works breakdown here, then I now came underneath it to now compute for my workforce. Like I did said in when I was in the video for the budgeting, I did said it is always it is the right thing to do, pricing your labor in hours. Because even if you see, most of us sometimes we use this word daily pay, daily pay. It is the amount you pay him is the number of you paid him for the hours he put in. The daily pay is usually the person closes by 4 o'clock. So if he closes by 4 o'clock, you calculate the time from the 7 o'clock to the 4 o'clock. You see that there is an 8 hours in within that time. So if you are paying him a 6,000, it is the amount of hour he has put in that you paid that 6,000. So if you want to now get the cost per hour, is for you to divide the 6,000 by 8 hours. It tells you what the cost is per hour. Then if you want to know what the average volume the person can excavate per hour, you can also divide the volume by the total of hour he has put in. Say if now somebody digs a trench of 5 meter by 0.8 by 1 meter depth, you get that volume. Then the 8 hours you divide it by that volume, it tells you what is the hour per whatever volume he has stocked. And this kind of record is usually gotten from your past project. Your past project, in the sense that, see, you have kept all your datas, the volume of the number of hours. Say the project is for 1 year, and you had masons, concrete masons, that were there all through the year, and the total hours they are putting all through that 1 year. Say it is, say, 10,000 square meter, and they had poured, say, a 1,000 cubic meter of concrete. So the 10,000 square meter divided by 1,000 cubic meter tells you what is the hour ratio per cubic meter. So also for formwork, you have kept carpenters have stayed all through. Say they eventually had 5,000 hours, and the total square meter they did for that 1 year is 2,000. So 5,000 hours divided by 2,000 gives you what the hour ratio for per square meter will be. The same thing goes for all the items. So you can even do it for even the bungalow. You can start keeping your record even from now. You bring in um, uh, labor to come and excavate trench, come and excavate pit. You keep the record for people digging pit separately. You keep the record for people digging trench separately. You now get at the end of the exercise, you know how many persons that were involved in the trench and how many days they have put in. If they have put in 3 days to accomplish the trench, and they are 5 times 8 by 3, then divide by the volume of cubic meter they had excavated, it tells you what the ratio per cubic meter, the ratio per cubic meter will be. So also for rendering and all of the items you can find in the B. So that is what I did. If you go back to my budget, you will find out that you have hours that I use now multiplied by the cost per cubic meter, by cost per day, per hour, to give me if I had said 5 hours is going to be the hours I'm going to use for 1 cubic meter of concrete. I now multiply that 5 hours by the hourly rate of labor per day. Then it gives me what the cost will be for 1 volume of cubic, and that is what I did here. So now I said for excavation, I have 2 hours for a cubic meter of earth. They can excavate in 2 hours. They can excavate 1 cubic meter. So if it is 2 hours, they can excavate 1 cubic meter, and you have 8 hours in a day. So now what I now did is I now multiply the 25 hours by 2 to give me the total hours I'm going to spend to to excavate 25 cubic meters. Then I now divided it by 8 to now tell me the number of persons I need to put in to accomplish this 25 cubic meter. Meaning that if I do anything less than this, I might have leftover concrete, leftover excavation that I will need to put more people on the third day, on the second day to accomplish, or I might extend my schedule by 1 day. But if I put people above 6, I am within. If I put people not less than 6, I am still within my threshold. That meaning that I'm going to accomplish the the 25 cubic with proper supervision. With proper supervision, because if they are not supervised properly, the tendency for you to have the same number or more number and they will still do less than this is likely. You know how workers behaves on site. So also the same thing goes for all this. So for a 63 cubic, I need a 16 people. The next day, I'll retain the 16 people because the same number I need to do. The third day, then the workers will now begin to reduce to 13 because the volume has reduced. The next day, the volume has reduced by half, 6 people. The next day again, it has reduced 4 people till I finished my excavation. So also it is applicable to all the other item. So uh, after calculating my labor force, on this sheet, because of there are quantities reflecting on this sheet because it is the labor schedule that we are about to prepare. So rather than me either hiding all of these cells where I have my quantity, then I will now either then hide this other aspect and now print this. I went further to now create another summary sheet where I now linked my I linked the number of staffs. Then I drag it. I dragged it then to reflect on this sheet. So with this sheet now, you realize that on day one, I needed 18 persons on site. I needed 18 persons on site, and the 18 persons, I only need 6 persons for excavation. I need 12 persons for reinforcement to cut, bend, tie while I'm waiting for the blinding to be casted so that they can lift the basket and place it in the right position, align the column starters, then you can now either cast. And then the trenches as well, you can now cast the strip footings. Then day 2, now I have 3 items now, 3 activities. I need 16 persons for excavation. I need 6 persons for leveling and compacting. I need 12 persons for reinforcement. Then the numbers is 34 I needed. So for each day, I have the number of persons I need. So now it's now saying what this now signifies. I now use, let me use reinforcement as one to illustrate how it works. Because if you don't explain this, some persons might think you have 12, 15, 15, 15, 15, like that. You know, I started with 12 persons. The second day, I retained the 12 persons. The third day, I retained the 12 persons. Then the fourth day, I needed 15. So I added 3 to the 12. Not that I brought another 15 separate from the other 12 that I had the previous day. It is additional of 3 persons to the 12 persons to now give me the 15 persons that I need on site. So also, I now, since the quantities I needed to execute between these 3-4 days is the same, I retain the 15, 15, 15, 15. Then when I now got to this day, the quantity has reduced. I can't retain 15 because if I retain 15, I'll be running at a loss because the volume of work for this day is the work for 9 persons. So I now had to reduce 6 persons from my workforce, my reinforcement workforce to 9. Then I retained the 9 all through to this time. Then when I now got to this place, as the volume of work reduces, I further reduce 4. And I now retain this 5 to complete, 5 this day, 5 these days to complete the job. Form work as well. I have 8 from beginning, 8, 8, 8. Then when I got to this day, I needed to add 1. I needed to add 1, and I retained this 9 for 2 days. Then I now dropped by one person. I took out 1 person, retained 8 this day. Then I now deduct 7, 7, 7. Then I now have 4. So you can see that the labor force will be fluctuating depending on the materials you need on site. Somebody that does not know, if he's asked now to either give him if he's asked to someone that does not know, if he's asked to tell us what the total number of labor is, he could just sum the whole of he could just sum the whole of this summary under the total down here and said he needs, for the duration of this project, he needs a 703 workers to accomplish this job, which is not true. Because, like I did explain, that as the work progresses, there are areas you drop some workers, there are areas you add workers. So the only place they now ask, if you are to, they asked you, what is the likely number of work? Because it is a forecast. It could be slightly more, 5% more, or less than 5%. So if you are asked now to determine what is at the peak of your project, what is the likely number of staffs you are going to have on site, you are going to go through this aspect and look at which is the peak, which is 43. So meaning that at the peak is 43. Total workers you are going to have is 43 at the 43. So now they ask you what is the workforce you're anticipating to accomplish this job. You say 43. That does not mean that you are keeping the 43 from the beginning of the project to the end, but just that at the peak you need 43. So at different days, the workforce will be fluctuating depending on the needs on site. So I believe this explanation has added to the knowledge you have concerning labor focus. And if it has done, please do share to others that may also want to share from this body of knowledge. Also, like my page, and above all, like I did said from the beginning, subscribe to my page to encourage us to continue to do what we are doing. See you in the next episode. Bye for now.